So, Johnny Depp just said 3 little words that sent shockwaves through the internet. My heart is yours forever. And no, this wasn't some private text that got leaked, or a quiet whisper behind closed doors. He said it. Out loud. In front of everyone. Boldly. Clearly. Without a hint of hesitation. And now everyone's asking the same question: who is the woman who owns Johnny Depp's heart? If you've been following Johnny's journey through the ups, the downs, the courtroom dramas, the headlines, the whispers, this moment feels big. It feels different. It almost feels like closure. Or maybe a brand new beginning. But here's the thing: if you think you already know who she is, you might want to stick around, because this isn't what anyone expected. Not even his biggest fans. So, let's talk about it. Let's unravel this moment, piece by piece, and by the end of this story, you'll know exactly who she is. And why this confession means so much. Alright, here we go. Now, let's rewind for a second. Let's really set the stage here. Johnny Depp, the actor, the rock star, the artist, the icon. For decades, he's been one of the most recognizable, most talked about names in Hollywood. And not just for his talent, though that's undeniable, but for his life. His personal life. Because let's be honest, Johnny's love life hasn't exactly been a fairy tale. He's been painted as the villain. Then as the victim. Then back as the villain. Back and forth, as headlines and courtrooms and social media had their way with his story. And through all of it, he just kept going. But something changed recently. If you've seen him lately, maybe at a premiere, or playing guitar on stage, or just stopping to sign autographs outside a theater, you might have noticed. That spark in his eyes? It's back. That smile that almost feels unguarded? Yeah. It's there. And people noticed. Of course we noticed. We've been watching, after all. So, let's talk about the night it happened. The night he said it. It wasn't some big awards show or a red carpet moment. It wasn't during an interview with flashing cameras and bright lights. No, it happened at a quiet little acoustic set. Picture this, a small, dimly lit venue. Only a few dozen people in the audience. Everyone sitting close together, waiting. The kind of place where you can actually hear the creak of the floorboards when someone shifts in their chair. And then, Johnny walks on stage. He's carrying his guitar, dressed like only he can, worn boots, a loose scarf, that unmistakable hat tilted just enough to shadow his face. He smiles, nods at the crowd. Starts playing. Song after song, the audience sits there, enchanted. And then, in between songs, he pauses. Looks down at his guitar for a moment. Then up at the crowd. And in that low, raspy voice, he says, "This next song is for the woman who taught me how to believe in love again. My heart is yours forever." The room goes quiet. Just silent. People glance around at each other. Some gasp. You can actually hear someone in the back whisper, "Who's he talking about?" And then, people notice. In the crowd, there's a woman sitting quietly in the back. Long, wavy dark hair. Not a famous actress. Not a model. Not someone you'd recognize from a magazine cover. But the way Johnny looks at her from the stage, you don't need to recognize her. You just know. Because you can't fake that kind of look. You can't fake the kind of love you see in someone's eyes when they've finally found what they've been searching for. Now, of course, everyone started whispering. People thought maybe it was about an ex. Maybe someone from his past. Someone he couldn't let go of. Or maybe it was a brand new secret girlfriend. But here's the truth. She wasn't an ex. And she wasn't some new fling, either. She was someone who's been there all along. Someone he met years ago. Long before all the chaos. Before the headlines. Before the trials and the drama. A woman who, by all accounts, has been his friend for years. A quiet constant in a world that's anything but quiet. People who know Johnny say she's the one who sat with him on nights when he couldn't sleep. The one who reminded him to pick up a paintbrush again. The one who told him, over and over, that he was more than the sum of the stories people wrote about him. And now? Well, now, he's saying it back. Because here's the thing about love. It's not always loud. It's not always fireworks and fairy tales and big dramatic moments. Sometimes, love is quiet. It's steady. It's a hand that never lets go, even when the whole world seems to have turned its back. And when you find that, you don't let go. You say it. Even if it's just 3 little words on a stage, in a small room, with nothing but a guitar to keep you company. My heart is yours, forever. Now, here's what I think we can all learn from Johnny's confession. Love doesn't have to be perfect to be real. It doesn't have to look like a movie to matter. Sometimes, the most important love stories happen quietly, in private, when no one's really paying attention. Sometimes, it's the person who sits with you in your silence, who ends up holding your heart. So, what do you think? Was Johnny's confession romantic? Surprising? Or maybe both? I'd love to hear what you think. Go ahead and tell me in the comments, who do you think really deserves his heart? Do you think it's about her? Or someone else entirely? And hey, if you love stories like this, full of heart, full of drama, full of those little moments that make you believe in love all over again, stick around. I've got another video for you about another Hollywood star and her own shocking love revelation. You'll definitely want to see that one. Oh, and before you go, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap that little bell icon. It really does help us bring you more stories like this, stories that make you feel something. Because after all, sometimes the biggest love stories happen when nobody's looking. And sometimes, you don't even know her name. You just know, she makes him smile. Thanks for watching.